Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. You join us here in the kitchen of creation with a promised little bit of progress on the Vlaherd Commander helmet. I'm all hunched over now because this camera does not like filming me and the table at the same time. So, anyway, let's get on with it. You may remember last week, I didn't do anything, oh yeah. But the week before, I made all the templates for the leather work that goes around the face and around the back of the head. We've established that I need to shorten the bit around the back a little bit, which I will do probably in this video. But what I wanted to do was do a test with, because I don't have a sewing machine and I'm not hand sewing this stuff, the edges of these flaps, this is just a piece of scrap by the way, the edges of these flaps when they're done need to be folded over and sort of hemmed in a way. So the two options I've got, well, I've got one option, but two ways. Glue. Firstly, the old familiar E6000. I didn't get a chance to order some, plus I'm broke and it's really expensive. Most costume players or serious nutters will use this glue. It's expensive, it comes from the States, and it's got warnings about not inhaling the fumes. Not that the fumes are bad. The fumes, it smells really nice for a glue. It doesn't have that petrol-y type smell, but apparently the fumes and everything else are cancerous. So let that be a lesson to you. I don't know anyone who's actually got cancer from E6000 yet, but apparently it's not great for you. In fact, out of paranoia, I opened my window just a little bit. So apologies for any extra noise. This may have sealed up in the tube. It's been here very long and it tends to clog up the nozzle. But hopefully I can get enough out to do a test. There we go. It's clear. It's very sticky. It takes a while to go off. It takes a good while, like an hour, to go off properly. I'm just going to paint the on there. How are we doing? There we go. So I'm going to paste that. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll paste that around here. Probably a little bit too much going on there. This is probably the most likely candidate actually. I think it's a spreader. Because it glues everything. It's very good stuff. I may even go to B&Q, which is the British version of Home Depot, if you're an American, and get stuff called, it's in a black tube and it's called, not good stuff, it's called something like strong stuff. It's like this, but not so cancerous. And I've had, you know, a lot of joy with that glue instead, so I might get some of that instead. Anyway, I've pasted an edge, and I'm going to fold that over as a hem. Now we're going to have to put something heavy on it. I know, I'll put the weight of the United Kingdom's governmental problems. That's pretty heavy. Bit of politics, right on. Mine's been out and good night. Anyway, so let's put something heavy on that. But what I'll do before I do that, whack it over there like that. Let's use the other glue. Now this is called high-tack fabric glue. It's, as you can see, it's a really old bottle. I don't even know if it's still liquid form in there. It may not be, in which case this video falls down quite quickly. I can see it pouring. Weirdly enough, I bought this, crumbs. I may have bought this 8 years ago. Do you know what I bought it for? A mummy costume. I kid ye not. I'll see if I can bring up a picture of me in my mummy costume that I made with this. It's not cancerous, you'd be glad to know, but it does clog up the nozzle quite a lot. Let's see if I can just pull that out for now. Actually, that's really in there. Got to keep this held down somehow. I need to get weight on it, don't I? Give me a second. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Talking of mummies, let's use this very heavy doorstop Egyptian Sphinx thing that I bought a couple of weeks ago at the car boot sale. Went to a car boot sale this morning, didn't get anything, but went yesterday morning as well, and I picked up some LED lights which were perfect. It was something I was looking for on Amazon and eBay, but I managed to find them super cheap, and they're ideal for what I want, and I will put a video of them up in a second. So, got the note. This is very sticky stuff. It looks a bit like PVA. I'm not using that piece. That's my comparison sample that I want to take to a shop to make sure I've got the right paint colour, or at least as close as possible. I'll wait for this to pour out because it's taking forever. That stuff is very thick and very sticky, very, very sticky, hence the high tack, but you can reposition stuff. But I was using it to glue bandages onto a t-shirt, etc., to make a mummy suit, and it worked really well. So, this may be the slowest video ever. He's coming down the tube, come on. Yeah. Here it comes. Really slow. Alrighty, okay, I'm just going to put that on because the squirty nozzle doesn't work anymore. So you can see, it looks like EVA, white stuff. I'm going to spread it like I did the other one. Well, this is fabric backed anyway, so it may work really well. So we fold it over like this, like the previous one. Hold it down a bit, but it's so sticky. Yeah. I'll tell you about all this stuff in a second. Oh, that's not doing too great. It's popping back up straight away. Seems to be soaking into the fabric. I'm going to have to use more, it seems. I hope this one works rather than E6000, because this is a lot cheaper obviously, and I'm going to need to buy about 12 of these easily for all the mummy costume stuff coming up for the film. Did I tell you I'm making a film? Yeah, I know, I keep going on about it. Anyway, that's a bit better. Let's put this down in the background with the previous one, with the E6000. There and there. Right, E6000 is the bigger piece. I haven't marked them at all, but there we go. We'll pop you guys on there. That one just popped off again. Do not pop off, I'm not liking it. Right, so you go on there, you go on there. We'll come back in 24 hours. I'm going to leave it a full 24 hours, and then we'll try and pull them apart and see what they look like and stuff. Look, I've got E6000 everywhere now. This does not have the cancer warning on it, so it may well be that this tube is the new formula, which is less deadly. So that's nice to know. Anyway, while we're not doing anything else, I had these lovely, lovely things. I'll bring the camera in a wee bit closer. Come closer. That's better. So I had these printed. These are 3D printed in resin. It's the first thing I've had out of a resin printer, and they're lovely. Obviously they're Egyptian canopic jars, miniature ones. I've been sanding these to get them nice and smooth. Thing is, they're really smooth already. They're in a lovely translucent greeny blue. My friend Ashley Judd did them for me from a file that we bought. You can see print lines on them, but the print lines are on the inside, so all this is on the outside. It's smooth. So we have 9 of those. We may need more, but what I am doing, they come with 4 different heads. This is the jackal head, the Anubis type thing, and the lids and stuff. But I've been sanding them so they're more, definitely smoother. But it'd be nice to paint these up and get some Egyptian hieroglyphs on the front there for the film. Very important in the film, actually. Real canopic jars used to hold the organs and brains and livers and everything of the deceased Egyptian person. And I think they were a lot bigger. But we need small ones for magical goings on in the film. So these are great. Ash did an amazing job printing these for me. So I've got to paint them and etc. etc. And finish them off. Also, on top of the table at the moment is your average run-of-the-mill basic painter's cloth. You know, for you're moving house or you're painting stuff and you want to protect your furniture. It's just a sort of rough hessian or I wouldn't say linen. It's more like a sacking, but it's quite stretchy. This was donated to me by my friend Lee and his wife because they were moving house. And she's washed it in the whatever that she said. I think she said it's bold washing powder. It's got this lovely floral smell to it. It won't be lovely and floral all the time. It's a mummy costume, but as you can see, it's a great colour. It's that yellowy colour. It's quite coarse. It's got a bit of stretch in it, which helps the performer move around. So I'm going to cut this into strips at some point and probably a few more of these. So that's going to be pretty blimmin' awesome. Anyway, what we're going to do now. Okay, so I'm going to take these off now. No longer needed. We've got to wait 24 hours to see what's happening with the glue. So I'll take these off. Alrighty. Still undecided what to do with the nose. That nose is almost right. He's double-sided taped on, but I think he'll end up being glued on. That's industrial carpet double-sided tape, so it's pretty strong stuff. I mean, it's not going to fall off, let's face it. It's left some of the glue behind. There we go. There we go. Two more. There we go. So I'm going to keep hold of that and I'll make myself a slightly better one if I can. With a slight rounded bit here on the tip of the nose. But that's good. Let's shorten the back of the shroud. If you remember last week, not last week, the week before last, the back of the shroud was a little bit long. And I don't have any... Oh, I kind of have drawings here. I've drawn it to match that black line there, the straight lines, not the curvy bit. And I think it was too long. So I'm going to take, not much, I'm going to take a little bit off. According to these drawings and the photo, I think the nose should be a bit thinner. This nose, as you can see, is quite long and quite thin. And that is the right length, but I think it should be a few millimeters thinner, so I'll keep that in mind. It will definitely look a little better. Now, let's get the shroud for the back of the head back in a sec. I'm back with the shroud, you see? So, it's fine, it's marked out like this. I've marked out hem around the bottom edge, but it does need shortening. I would say by about 2 inches, probably more. I think we were saying probably 2 or 3 inches, but I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take about 2.5 inches off the entire thing. I'm going to leave this length the same. So this length will match the front flaps, misses, and we'll just shorten it along the curve. So, need to sort the camera out. Give me a second. I tell you something, you'd think as an artist I'd have pens all over the house. No. Took me ages to find that. You go upstairs and there's pens, everything from crayons, chalks, pens, pastels, paint, oils, you name it. Downstairs, nothing. Ask me to make a note downstairs, you're in deep trouble. Right, I need to do another curve. I don't have my cardboard compass thingy I had before, but I just need a piece of string or something to do that with. With Bloody Students, we are going to start filming on the 18th of September this year. And we're not doing a full 2 weeks, but we're doing about 3 or 4 days. And if all goes to plan in the next day or two regarding emails, there should be an exciting development. We are very low on money, by the way. Our fundraising has not gone too great. We're beginning to buy stuff that we do need for the film, including props and costume stuff, and keeping money back for actors and travel and all sorts of stuff like that. So we need to find a way of raising some more money. But the stuff we film in September will hopefully go towards... So look at that. That's better. What's going on here? The stuff we film in September will show a lot of people, show everyone, in fact, especially you, my viewers here on Terry on Tuesday, what we're hoping to do. It'll be a great little scene, and hopefully that will encourage people to help invest in the film and help us get the rest done in the new year. I'm happy with that. I like that. I like it a lot. Right, so that's that done. This is Bernie. Welcome back to Bernie. I'll show you at the end of this video what we did with Bernie. He's a very temporary mummy, very clean, very fresh, rubber mask, but he looks okay. He's currently living on the mannequin, so we can pop the helmet on. Look at that. Looks like he's had a motorcycle accident in some 60s comedy carry-on movie. So that fits on. Awesome. Let's have a quick look at the shroud while we're at it. Spin it around. That's a lot better. It's a lot better than it was. It's not much better, but it's still a lot better. I could still probably lose more. I don't want to risk it. I don't think I want to risk it. Let's have a look from the side view. Okay, so side view. It goes about there. And, well, you can't quite see. See, my issue is, this, should that go up a little higher? I don't want to end up with a big gap in between the front and the side. I'm going to leave as it is for now. I've got plenty of this material. I can always make a new one if things don't work out. So this will be fine for now. Now, what I want to do is, I've got to start considering the horns. Now, looking at this and the photo, the horns are at an angle. You can see they're at a sort of side angle, or, you know, leaning back. And they're very big. They're very, very big. They're like, I don't know, 2 foot each one, 24 inches. You know, if I was to roll this up, bear with me. You know, it's not curved, but I mean, that's not, it's going to be longer because it'll go out and it'll go up. It's pretty big. And also, because they're on an angle, they've got to be fitted in a way that they're pretty sturdy. And as yet, I'm not entirely sure how to do this. In fact, I don't even know what to make the horns out of. It looks like the horns were made out of that kind of thick rope you get for, you know, film premieres and around things in museums. It's a big gauge rope, like red rope or whatever, gold. It looks like some kind of material that's been twisted up anyway. It may be that for lightness, we get these 3D printed, maybe get them 3D printed in 3 sections, glue them together, and then affix them so they're lighter. Or I could try making these out of EVA foam in some kind of way, but I'm not sure. It'll probably involve a lot of carving and weirdness. I don't know if that's going to work. Anyway, by the look of it, he's got let's get the drawing's better. He's got a piece that goes all the way around there, and then he's got this crest which goes all the way to the back, goes up here, sort of flicks up a bit, but it also carries on to the back. So I think all this is obviously connected to this circular or tube-shaped collar in the middle, which is holding the horns, and so everything else is basically held on. Now, obviously you can't stop the horns wobbling as he's moving around because they do stick out quite far, and there's always going to be a bit of movement. If I was a brave man, which I'm not, if I was a brave man, I would be installing a metal strip all the way around here and all the way around here, and doing everything in metal so you can bolt it all on. I don't think I would do a good job of that. I may actually be using a bit of metal. I think it at least needs a bracket, like an L-shaped bracket that comes down here, sticks out and curls up a little bit. And from a side view, it'll come from about here, down, out, and then curls, which would hold the horns. That might do it. But I still need to work out the horns. I can't make them too heavy. So I can't carve them out of wood or something and then cover them in filler, because it would get really heavy. And, you know, these things are about 2 foot long, and, you know, they'd end up pulling whatever fitments we've got on here, loosening it all, and it would be a right mess. So it needs to be light. I'm going to be looking at a potential cheaper way of building these horns, and we'll find out what I've come up with or attempted and failed next week. Now, let's also jump forward in time now to, remember the Sphinx and the glue test underneath the Sphinx? Let's jump forward to Sunday and see how they work. So, 24 hours later, let's check out how the glue's doing. Alrighty, let's look at sample A. This is clearly the E6000, because that is pretty on there. It has stiffened it a bit, so it's a bit less flippy floppy, as you can imagine, but it's, you know, it's good. Let's check the fabric glue. Ooh, still very flexible, but look, that's still sticky. It's a giant blackbird sitting right outside, about 2 feet away from me. Hello, what do you want? Yeah, that's still sticky. That's not done too well, the fabric glue. Unfortunately, the fabric glue is should be sticking on this fabric, but it's not. It's not great. Could be that the fabric glue is out of date. I did say it's a couple of years old, but it's not great. So I think I'm just going to get some. I'll get some of that strong stuff, or good stuff, whatever it's called, from B&Q. I won't order from the E6000, because the E6000 takes forever to arrive and it's very expensive. I might as well just get some B&Q. I think that will work because it's very similar to E6000, so we'll do that. Okay. Right. Well, if you add it all up, the stuff I did yesterday and the stuff I did today, I've done very little. I've stuck these, and I've cut a bit off the back. This could have been a 3-minute video, really, couldn't it? Sorry. It feels like a real time waste. I've got fabric glue coming on my hand. So I think that's going to be it for this week. Yeah, again, apologies for the lack of real progress. My original thought was to cut a strip of, you know, the EVA foam to go right around the helmet, but then that's kind of too many steps ahead. I need to work out how the horns are being attached first before I sort of cover the attachments with all these strips. Anyway, hopefully next week more news on Bloody Students and Offworld, and I will speak to you then. Take care now.